We know that the online world is full of sensationalized stories and eye-catching headlines. But when you're dealing with topics that can have an impact on people's lives, like the misinformation that has often come from multi-level marketing companies and distributors, it is a fine line to walk. How do we make our content appealing and accessible without compromising our ethics? I want to talk about the challenges of sticking or aligning with ethical content creation, ethical practices in a digital landscape that is often driven by views and likes. So if that conversation topic sounds good to you, let's go. Hi folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kat. I'm a licensed and registered dietitian nutritionist, and on this channel I like to talk about weight inclusive and weight neutral focused approaches to health, as well as diving into scammy and, in my opinion, unethical nutrition related businesses, products, mostly nutrition related MLMs, and other fear mongering nutrition related claims. As an anti-MLM advocate and a dietitian, my goal is to educate and provide information for consumers to recognize and stay away from potentially predatory practices. And I do this by trying to navigate the waters of doing it ethically and responsibly. I think it's really important to talk about the balance between creating content, making content that is engaging, while at the same time being a responsible advocate. First point that I want to make in this video: I am not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I have not always represented my values and my character well on my channel, particularly with snarkiness, as some might call it, in response to certain distributors who might be feeling not so great seeing a video that is targeting the product that they are currently using or the product that they are a distributor of. Typically, whenever I do a deep dive on a specific MLM company or product, I will get some comments that are not the most nice. And sometimes I've responded in ways that are maybe a little bit more snarky than I needed to be, and really not beneficial or helpful for that person to continue maybe to see more red flags in their MLM and kind of take steps to moving away from it. And just snarkiness in general in response videos, I have more to say on that in a little bit. And the second important point, I am in no way, shape, or form telling other people what they should do with their anti-MLM content or any kind of advocacy. That is not my place. That is not the purpose of this video. I think there is a channel and a time and place for everyone. I think there is space for everyone. And so we're talking about my channel here in this video and my thoughts on anti-MLM advocacy and how I see myself as part of it. The third point, I am not the bearer of what is ethical and what is not. I don't know if that's the right word to use. Basically, what I'm saying is that what is ethical for me might be different for other people. Not might be, it is different. Like, we are all different. But this video is referring to my content and my videos and the application of content creation that I see myself in anti-MLM, paired alongside of my ethics. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about the importance of ethical advocacy. In today's world, when information is literally right at our fingertips, it's one click away, the role of an ethical advocate in content creation is more important than ever, in my opinion, because of the vast amount of information that we are able to get. But what exactly does an ethical advocate mean? To me, at least. At its core, ethical advocacy to me means that there is a commitment to honesty and integrity in every piece of content that is produced. To me, it's about ensuring that the information that we share is not only accurate and evidence-based, but is presented in a way that is fair and respects our audience's intelligence, their autonomy, their ability to use that information for their own, however they see fit. Basically providing information so that people can make informed choices. Ethical advocacy is not about pushing an agenda or just sensationalizing something for views. It's about empowering others with accurate information so that they're able to make those informed choices or have informed opinions. And another piece to that is one that I've intentionally been working on, which is maintaining a standard of compassion and empathy. We're dealing with real people and real lives. Now, in that reflection, I kind of wanted to share just some of that reflection. And I did do a lot of reflection on that this year. Earlier this year, I created a video about an AntiMLM creator who was promoting pseudoscience, and I used their name in the video. I did not call for anybody to cancel or attack. I was sure to spend time in the video talking about that person's very publicly discussed health concerns, health issues going on, and how I understood how someone in that experience, being at that point, reaching out and doing something like what they were doing. I was sure to spend time in the video talking about how there, to me, is a difference if you are doing something that is pseudoscience, potentially harmful, if you are doing it in private or maybe sharing it to, a few people. There is a difference, in my opinion, to that versus sharing information in like a sponsorship vibe information kind of way. Like, that was the takeaway, that was the point of the video. And I had decided to make that video for a few different reasons. I've gone back and forth. One of them was because the pseudoscience being used, particularly dewormer, it has a connection to potential organ damage, specifically digestion-wise, which is very much in the scope of practice of like what I talk about and what I'm like doing on a regular basis, like job-wise, focusing and working with a lot of people digestive health-wise, and the medical nutrition therapy around that. And so I felt that that piece, that was a huge part of it, was something that was important to talk about. On one hand, because of my channel size, I really don't think that would have gotten more than like 100, 200 views, which that is not the issue itself, the view part, like that amount of views, but the fact of the connection to potential organ damage within the scope of practice that I'm often in, and with that person's reach being over 500,000, that tipped the reason why I did not blur. And that is also why I was very intentional with my words in that video about how I understood that someone experiencing the, again, very public health issues they were experiencing, that kind of response and trying pseudoscience dewormer makes complete sense. I understand it. I can put myself in those shoes and see how when you are desperate, it makes sense to just try. And so instead in the video, I was really focused on the kind of sponsored content feeling of it. That was the main takeaway, or the main points. Before and after that, I was blurring people, distributors, because it didn't make sense to not. Like, I was really focused and still am focused on what they're saying, what they're talking about, not the person. But with this one, the person itself was very much tied into the concerns and into what I wanted to talk about. It was very much tied into the issues at hand. And I recognize that not everybody's going to agree with that, and I don't think that I can ever make any kind of content that will be in agreement with everybody. But I just wanted to explain kind of where that tipped and why, the purpose behind it. And I could have stopped there. I should have stopped there, but I responded to some commentary with the creation of some like drama-esque videos and like as my responses. Now, I ended up removing those because those don't align with my values, and I don't want to bring up any kind of interpersonal relationships with people, like between creators. There are much better ways of spending time, in my opinion. And so as we navigate just the vast complex world when it comes to content creation, that I wanted to share a piece of that history because I think it's relevant to this conversation. And I want to share like my personal commitment, my intentions with my anti-MLM content creation. And I think it's a really good time to visit that with this year coming to an end, us, getting close to the new year. When it comes to nutrition and misinformation, wellness overall, my commitment, again, this is my intention. I'm not perfect. This is what I aim for, is to prioritize the consumer's well-being and the education of that over sensationalizing it and over profit. This means delivering information in a evidence-based way and in a way that is like actionable. And part of that is also me continually educating myself and making sure that I'm staying like on top of evidence-based information so that what I'm sharing is both reliable and current. Now, in the realm of anti-MLM advocacy, specifically within that nutrition, misinformation, wellness, that commitment in anti-MLM, that is also very important, and that takes a little bit of a different shape, and one that still fits together though. That is about shining a light on practices and information that is either harmful or not evidence-based, misleading, and ensuring that those who are still involved in multi-level marketing are treated with empathy and respect. I am here to critique the system, not the distributors themselves, who are often victims. I was in an MLM. I feel like in my mind, like I was in a completely different state at that time. And it took so many small steps to leave that state of mind. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I continuously blur the distributors in my videos. Ultimately, I want to advocate for truth within all of that misinformation and harmful information, and do so in a way that I feel is in most alignment with my values. If you are a consistent viewer of my channel, then you're aware that I do blur out people minus the CEO or other high corporate level people who are actually working for the company. But even at that, I have blurred out some of the corporate, not so much the CEOs or Autumn Calabrese from Beachbody or Body, but for the most part, I'm blurring people unless they are really at the very top, in corporate, or if it was someone like the video that I did earlier this year about that other creator. Now, this is a good time to transition into the next part, which is challenges in the online space. So we pretty much all know about health misinformation, it's everywhere, right? In the health space, misinformation can cause just a whole lot of harm. It can lead to very serious consequences. It can lead to delayed professional help that person probably, could be seeking. It can lead to the adoption of harmful practices and can even endanger people's lives. But I want to talk about another challenge, which is drama, sensationalism, and clickbait in general. Now, these types of content often taps into our emotions, whether it's curiosity, shock, or outrage. They're designed to make us click, to make us watch, to make us share. And in a world where likes are currency and minutes watched is currency, the temptation to create something sensationalized can be strong. But I really want my focus to be delivered on the content and more of education rather than utilizing or taking advantage of people's emotions. The path of sensationalism might boost viewership, but it often creates an environment that is filled with noise and potentially drama, where meaningful discussion can be drowned out by the loudest voices. So when faced with situations that could potentially escalate into public drama, I want to focus on two key things: the bigger picture and the unity within a community. Bigger picture meaning remembering why we're here in the first place, which in my opinion is to inform, educate, and support people in the understanding of the business practices and some of the harms that can come from multi-level marketing, and providing alternatives to that. And it's about all of that rather than getting into disputes that cause the focus to kind of shift away from that. I think that kind of atmosphere can sometimes pressure people who are watching to feel like they need to pick a side or align with this specific kind of group of people. In my opinion, it boils down to being part of a community and fostering that community where respect and understanding and a shared vision for positive change are at the forefront. That at least is the community that I want to be part of and that I want to nurture. Now, as I am kind of discussing what I want my role to be, what I strive for it to be, I want to talk a little bit about my approach in handling disagreements. Now, this is something that I have grown a lot in, done a lot of reflection in, changed my thoughts a lot with reflection. Dealing with conflicts, dealing with drama is part of every online community. Reflecting on my values as I have reflected and grown this year, respect and professionalism, they need to come first. whether it's a disagreement with feedback from multi-level marketing distributors or someone in the community, a creator or a viewer. I think feedback is valuable, and I think disagreements can be valuable. The goal, in my opinion, I think is the engagement of it in a constructive way. Again, I am saying that I am not the poster child of that. I am probably the opposite. Again, this is intentions. Private conversations are so valuable, I think, for resolving issues. They allow for a more nuanced dialogue. But even that, differences in communication styles, preferences, or approach, that can also be an issue. That's not always going to be perfect. The communication styles and approaches, and we're talking to people from all different walks of life. It's just hard sometimes. But again, as we're ending this year and I'm focusing on just that reflection piece on myself, in doing so, in my opinion, it helps with the health of community. And most importantly, I think, is the alignment with the mission of spreading that accurate information and fostering healthy discussions for people who are either potentially wanting to get more information to join a multi-level marketing company, or who are in the process of stepping away from one. I know for me, AntiMLM YouTube that was a reason why I left. And the approaches, the videos that really helped me were ones that were very compassionate. So with all that being said, I thought it was important to share kind of where my thoughts are with how I want to run this channel, especially with this year coming to an end. There's just something about the end of a year and the start of the new year, and I really just want to check in, make sure we're on the same page. We don't have to be on the same page. I don't want a echo chamber or anything like that, but just let you know what my intentions are. And I want to foster an environment where people feel comfortable with criticism, constructive, please, constructive, in ways that I can better message something. Because ultimately, I really do want to help people to either not join multi-level marketing or to step away from it. And so if there is a way that I can do so that's going to be more beneficial, everybody wins. And I think there is a difference between trying to make content that everybody likes. It's not so much that, because I know that that's never going to happen. That is different, in my opinion, to constructive criticism that either strengthens or weakens the message. The mission of the message. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have watched it this far, please leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed if you would like. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for being here and supporting my channel and my intentions of doing the best that I can to dedicate a space, to have a space and grow a space for ethical advocacy, and at the same time recognizing that there's no perfection, but there is intention and the desire. I've messed up on my channel before, and I wanted to share some of the reflection and where I want to take it. All right, so with all that being said, remember, you can strive for health without subscribing to diet culture. I'll see you later. Bye.